Let's jump right on into this recipe and let's get to cooking. First thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna season up our chicken. We need to grab some oil. All right, this is just gonna make that spread of the dry seasoning a lot easier. Let's start off with adding a small pinch of salt and ground black pepper. Now here's the thing, if you're gonna be using a lot of seasonings that contain salt, you might wanna use the salt lastly. We're gonna add some garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika. All right, you want your chicken to have a nice deepened smoky flavor. We're also gonna add some regular paprika for subtle taste, but most importantly, color. Let's add some of my beautiful, delicious Cooking with Tammy seasoning. Let's add some of our spicy Cooking with Tammy chicken all-purpose seasoning as well, which is not too spicy, it's just the perfect element of spice. Let's also add some Italian seasoning. Get yourself a good blend of Italian seasoning and let's get to mixing. In the meanwhile, let's work on getting our pan nice and hot because we're gonna be searing and browning our chicken. I'm gonna add a small drizzle of oil to lubricate the pan, and we're gonna add our chicken pieces. Sounded like fireworks on the 4th of July. The good thing about the size of this pan is it's large enough so I don't have to sear my chicken in batches. All right, we're gonna cook it for about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. All right, let's toss that chicken. I want it to cook on the other side as well. All right, that's it. About another 2 to 3 minutes. And we'll be removing our chicken from the pan. All right, this smells so, ooh, it smells good. It smells really, really delicious. I'm not gonna eat any. I'm just gonna wait for that element of surprise once I'm finished making this delicious casserole. Usually, behind the scenes, I might taste a piece of chicken or two. But tonight we are gonna hold out. I'm gonna lower the flame because we don't wanna cause any smoke alarms to go off. Gonna add a small drizzle of oil, and that's simply because I'm gonna be adding butter. If I was to add the butter by itself, the butter would burn too fast. Now would be the perfect time to add our Vidalia onions. I find that when you use Vidalia onions, because they're naturally sweet, once they start to break down, their natural sugars are gonna release. And that's what's going to caramelize our onions. It's really important to allow those onions to cook for about 20 to 30 minutes because the more they caramelize is the deeper the flavors are going to be. And that's the flavor that we appreciate when it comes to French onion anything. Those deep and rich flavors from the caramelized onions. Onions are beautifully caramelized. So much so that the aroma that I'm getting from the onions, whoa, absolutely inviting. All right. Now that our onions are where they need to be, right? We're gonna add some garlic. This is just some garlic paste. However, if you wanna add finely chopped garlic, you definitely can. We're gonna combine the garlic with the onions. We're gonna be turning this into a French onion gravy, right? So in order to do that, we're gonna add some flour to our onions. Gonna stir them on up. Let's just add some more flour, coat the onions with the flour. We're gonna allow the onions to cook for an additional 30 seconds to a minute because I wanna cook away all of that floury taste from the flour, obviously. All right, we don't want a doughy tasting gravy. We want our gravy to taste delicious, all right? Once the flour starts to stick to the bottom of the pan, as you can see, we're gonna add our beef broth to the mix. Stir that on in. We're going to scrape the bottom of the pan because we want to release all of the flour that was stuck to the bottom of the pan. Let's add some Worcestershire sauce for a nice savory flavor contrast. We're also going to add some beef bouillon powder, a little bit of onion powder because it's a totally different flavor profile from the actual caramelized onions. Let's also add a small amount of garlic powder. Dried thyme, if you have fresh thyme, you can add fresh thyme. Italian seasoning. Make sure everything is well combined. Because we want our sauce to be creamy, we're gonna add some half and half. If you have heavy cream, you can add some heavy cream, or even whole milk. Whole milk would work out perfectly fine as well. If you don't want to add any dairy, you don't have to. I just figured, you know what, let's make it nice and creamy and comforting. We're gonna allow our French onion sauce to come to a slow simmer. After about 5 minutes, our sauce started to thicken up, which is perfect. At that point in time, you're gonna give your sauce a quick taste, and you're gonna determine whether or not if you need to add a small pinch of salt and ground black pepper, or either or. Gonna stir it on up really well, make sure everything is perfectly incorporated, and once we are done, we're gonna re-add our chicken back to the skillet. Resting juices and all. Let's fold our chicken into the French onion gravy. Simmer for about 5 to 6 minutes. We're gonna allow it to thicken up even more. We want all of the flavors from the French onion sauce that we just created with all of those delicious onions to infuse itself into the chicken. Drain our potatoes. What I like to do first is add all of the stuff that needs to be melted. So we're gonna go ahead and add the butter, okay? We're gonna save the milk for last, especially if we're not heating up the milk. Now, if you're heating up the milk, it doesn't matter what order to add your ingredients, okay? But my milk is cold, fresh out of the refrigerator, and I'm not heating it up, okay? What I am gonna do is I'm gonna use my potato masher, and I'm gonna break the potatoes down. I want our potatoes to have a ton of flavor. So I'm not gonna stop with just adding butter. We're gonna add some other things as well to brighten these potatoes up, okay? All right, this is perfectly mashed. I'm gonna add some salt and ground black pepper to the potatoes. Let's add some garlic powder for a nice little garlicky element of flavor. We're also gonna add some sour cream. All right, get that sour cream in there. Don't be afraid. Add the sour cream. We're gonna add some whipped cream cheese. If you have regular cream cheese, you can add that as well. We're just going to put this to the side, and we're going to use a spatula to help us combine all of the other ingredients throughout the potatoes. All right, perfect. We got a good texture going on. Now will be the perfect time to add our milk, whether or not if you want to add half and half, which I'm adding heavy cream, or carnation, if you will. Yes, you could add carnation milk to mashed potatoes. Been doing it for years. And even whole milk. So whatever your preference is what you're going to add. If you don't want to add any milk to this mixture, you don't have to. I'm not going to add a lot of liquid because we want our potatoes to have some type of substance to it. We don't want it to be like a mushy mess, if you will. We want our potatoes to have some body, okay? With a capital B. When you lay those potatoes down, they don't sink to the bottom. All right, so this is perfect. We went ahead and removed our French onion chicken from the stovetop, and check it on out. Goodness, those chicken pieces are so nice and tender. First thing I want to do to my casserole dish is you can add some oil, some butter, but for now we're just going to add some non-stick cooking spray. We're going to take our perfectly whipped mashed potatoes, and we're going to place it into our casserole dish. Take the back of the spatula, spread it on out. Doesn't really have to be spread out evenly, as long as it's spread out into the casserole dish. All right, I think this is perfect. What do you think so far, right? That looks great. Go in with our French onion chicken, and we're gonna place it on the top of our mashed potatoes, just like this. It's gonna pick up all of the gravy. The gravy is gonna seep down into the potatoes, of course. All right, it's like having gravy and mashed potatoes. Add some more chicken. We're gonna go in with our Gruyere and mozzarella blend of cheeses. However, if you want to add some provolone to this, you definitely can. And some freshly grated Parmesan cheese as well, okay? Make it nice and cheesy. Make it worthwhile, okay? Spread it on out really good. I'm not going to add any parsley until it's literally finished baking, because if you add the parsley now, it tends to just, it looks dried out. You know what I mean? I want it to look nice and vibrant because presentation when it comes to cooking is everything. All right, here's what we're gonna do with our beautiful French onion smothered chicken potato casserole, okay? We're gonna place it into our preheated 375-degree oven, covered for about 30 minutes. Once we're done, we're gonna remove the aluminum foil, allow it to cook for an additional 15 minutes. Once you're done with that, you're gonna turn on the broiler because you want it to become nice and brown and bubbly on top for maybe about 1 to 2 minutes. Depending on your stove, right? They have gas stoves, you hear me? They have gas stoves and they also have electric stoves. So you know best how your stove works. Maybe you may need to turn on the broiler, maybe you may not. But nevertheless, don't forget to cover it down first and then remove the foil. Dinner is finished and ready to be served. Let's dig in. I am super happy. It's not 100% set just yet, simply because it's only about 20 minutes out of the oven. But we're going to make the best of it, okay? We are going to make the best of our smothered French onion potatoes. And let's go, let's go. Oh, this cheese is golden brown and nice. Got some onions going on. Who wants a bite? Because I eat it for you. My goodness, Jesus. Let me tell you something. Even though it's not set yet, this stuff right here that I'm eating, that I'm enjoying, absolutely tasty and delicious and worth every second in the kitchen. Give this recipe a try. It's so worth it. We use basic ingredients, but yet we have the biggest burst of flavors going on whatsoever. Anyway, y'all, don't forget to I'm still salivating. It's good. My tongue, oh my goodness, it tastes really good. Don't forget to check out cookingwithtammy.shop for seasonings, of course. Also check out my other website, Royalty Princess Gems, for the little girly trinkets and stuff. And that's about it, my loves. I would definitely keep these recipes coming. I will catch you in another video. Talk to you later. Bye, guys. Give this recipe a try. It's going to be definitely worth it. Talk to you later.